And next thing I remember is, honestly, I just remember like flying, and I remember thinking, like, I was so confused. I had no idea what was happening, but I was kind of like, Igor, like I was like thinking Igor, because I needed help. I knew I needed help. I don't know what was happening to my body. I don't know what was happening, and so I was calling for help, and I was calling Igor's name. So it's been almost 2 weeks since the accident had happened, and Igor and I finally feel like we've healed enough to talk about it. We healed physically and emotionally and mentally. So we wanted to share a little bit about what happened and how it happened and our healing process. And yeah, so I just wanted to jump right into it because that's what we're here for. So I remember waking up that day super excited for the day. We actually wanted to film like a day in the life in Bali. So we went to our favorite coffee shop, which is right across the street. So we went there to go get coffee. We read a little bit, talked a little bit, kind of planned out our day. And then we went to go get breakfast, which is just like a couple shops down further. So we didn't feel the need to go get our moped or anything like that because it was so close. So we walked there, we got breakfast. I'm pretty sure we like worked a little bit on our laptops, and yeah, we were just having a really good morning, and it was around noon by then, and we were kind of ready for a break, so we wanted to go back to the hotel. And we obviously were planning on walking back because we walked there. So anyway, long story short, we packed up, we started walking back to the hotel, and we were walking on the side of the road. Bali doesn't really have sidewalks, but we were not walking on the road. It's not like we were putting ourselves into a dangerous situation or anything like that. Everyone walks on the side of the road because even though there's no like distinguished sidewalk, there's still room for people to walk. So it's not like we were like crossing the street or walking somewhere we were not supposed to. But yeah, it was a pretty quiet afternoon, and I remember right before this, I was on Pinterest or something like that, and I was reading a bunch of different inspirational quotes, and I was just thinking about them as I was walking, and I was kind of like appreciating life, and I was mentally being very, very grateful. I was just addressing all the things that I'm thankful for, because I know that if I practice that mentally, then I just tend to have a better day, more positive day. So that's kind of where I was mentally. I wasn't really thinking about anything, and so therefore physically my body was very relaxed because I was thinking about all the positive things in my life, and I was just in a very positive state of mind.
And I remember walking, and Ina's walking in front of me and I'm walking behind her, and I remember something passed by me, hit my arm, like I felt like this kind of like electricity go through my whole entire body, like it like hit my funny bone, and then something goes by me and I just see it have impact, and it's hard for me to visualize it. Honestly, it was like a horror movie. Like I really don't even want to think about it, but I saw Ina just get hit and just fly. I run over to Ina and I'm just like I remember like just thinking like, this is gonna be the worst day of my life. Like I want to go back. I want to go back to sleep. Like this is a dream. This is not happening. Like I felt so much darkness, so much I don't know how to explain it. Like, it was just like, no, like, this could not be it. This could not be reality. Like, I've never felt so much darkness in my life. And I just remember being like, can we please go back? Can we please go back? Can we please go back? And just like, my mind just keeps telling me this, right? And I remember being like, I can't, like, what if she's dead? Like, what if she is dead? I'm gonna have to live the rest of my life alone without her. And I was just like, it was like one of the worst feelings that I've ever experienced in my life. Like the most darkness I've ever had in my life. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, and I just remember coming to her, and I would say, like, my mind probably was not the most positive at this moment. Like, I was thinking the worst case scenario, you know, and I was just imagining that I'm gonna have to live the rest of my life alone, like, without her. Like, she's gone. Like, I felt this darkness of, like, she's gone. And I remember running over to her, and I'm like, baby, like, I remember just like trying to talk to her, just please, like, talk back to me, like, please. Like, I didn't know what to expect. Like, I didn't know if she's breathing, alive.
And next thing I remember is, honestly, I just remember like flying, and I remember thinking, like, I was so confused. I had no idea what was happening, but I was kind of like, Igor, like, I was like thinking Igor, because I needed help. I knew I needed help. I don't know what was happening to my body. I don't know what was happening. And so I was calling for help, and I was calling Igor's name. And next thing I remember is Igor got really close to me, and he was like, baby, you just got hit by a car. I'm here now. So that was really helpful for me, because I was really confused. I had no idea what was happening. And then I remember a bunch of people just like ran up to me. At that point, I wasn't, like, Igor wasn't letting me move or anything like that, because he didn't want to risk anything. But we were told that there was an ambulance on its way, and what seemed like forever for me, I think it was approximately like 20 to 30 minutes that they came there. So I was laying on the gravel for like 20 to 30 minutes. So that was kind of scary too, because I didn't even know if the ambulance was coming.
Meanwhile, like, I'm just examining her body, like what her body looks like. I'm holding her, she's laying on me. I'm trying to stabilize her neck, thinking like neck's broken, like she might be bleeding internally, she might be bleeding in her head. Like, I just have to keep her breathing, I have to keep her relaxed, I have to keep her. And I remember just like, you know, this couple of seconds of darkness is over me, and then something kind of like took over me. And I just remember being like, baby, this is happening for you, this is happening for you, this is happening for us, this is happening for us. And I remember like this like strength come within me, and it was not me. Like, I like don't even, like, I know I was like, I tend to be negative, and especially in these kind of circumstances, like, how can you be positive? And I remember something taking over me, and I just remember telling her, like, this is happening for you, this is happening for you. And I'm surprised that I believe that. Like, in the moment, like, I truly believe that it was happening for us. And I remember like this spirit, like, I don't know, like something like took over, and like it was no longer like this darkness, like there's light starting to come in, you know. And I remember just being like, this is happening for us, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna heal, God's got you, like this is not your end, this is not your end. Like, and like I truly believed it. And so we're in the middle of Indonesia on the street. Like, I see the impact, I see everything, and my mind is just thinking about like, she's bleeding internally, she's this. People are obviously helping us, which is just chaos. People are just telling me all their advices, and I'm sitting there holding my wife, not knowing what to do. I just remember being like I'm kind of helpless. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, if there's blood in her lungs, like, what am I gonna do? If there's pressure building up in her head, what am I gonna do? And I felt, and I knew I had no control, no matter how many years of experience I had, none of this, like, no one could help her. Like, either God is gonna keep her alive, or she's not gonna make it. And I just remember like feeling like I have no control, and I was just praying the whole time, like, God, like, it's either you or no one. Like, we're waiting 20 minutes for this ambulance to come, and the whole time I'm just talking to her. I'm telling her she's gonna be okay. I'm telling her she's gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. This is happening for you. This is happening for you. And she believed it. Like, I noticed on her face, like, she truly believed that this was happening for her. And I remember her being like, I want to go home. I want to go home. I want to go home. Like, baby, we're gonna go home. We're gonna go home. We're gonna go home. And man, it was like, it was hard. It was so hard. I wish that was me, because like I saw like how the scariness in her eyes of being in the middle of nowhere with no help, no nothing. We're just laying there on the street, not knowing if she's gonna make it or not, you know. And it sucked, like it sucked, you know, but I did feel a lot of positivity. I did feel a lot of hope in the situation.
During that time, I was just kind of like I was so confused, but at the same time, like, I was so thankful that I was able to move my toes and fingers right away, and like I was thankful that Igor was there, and I knew that Igor wasn't hit, so I was thankful for that too. And for some reason, just like so much peace came over my heart, and I was like, everything's gonna be fine. This is happening for us. Like, I know that this sucks right now in the moment. I know that I'm in a lot of pain. I was in a lot of pain. But I was just like, you know, this is happening for us, so it'll be over before I know it.
The ambulance finally came, and I'm like, okay, good. Like, finally, people that are not gonna try to move her, like, people are gonna stabilize her spine, people are gonna like do all these things. And I remember them coming out with like no equipment. I'm sorry, like I'm sure the doctor's a really nice guy, but he looked like he was like 15 years old. And all he had is a stethoscope, like, cool. And the ambulance didn't have anything. And like, I remember them trying to move her, not stabilizing her spine. And I'm like, what in the world? Like, what are the odds that this would happen in a country like this? Like, why? You know, like in America, I would feel safe. Like, I'd be like, oh, they stabilize her spine. They have all these crazy equipment to save her if anything. This is Indonesia. They got nothing. And I just remember being like, again, like, she's either gonna make it or she's gonna die. Like, there's nothing I could do. There's nothing anyone can do to save her. Like, either she was protected by an angel, by God, by this greater divine authority, or she's not gonna make it, you know? And I don't know, like, I was obviously worried, but I kind of, at this point, I realized, like, there's no control. There's either grace or there's science, and she's gonna die. Like it didn't make sense to me that, like, realistically, like, she wasn't supposed to be breathing. She wasn't supposed to be, at this point, doing anything. Like, and then we're in a different country. Like, she should not be alive.